If you are tired of being strong all the time, this message is for you. Maybe no one notices. Maybe on the outside, you still look fine. You answer messages. You do what needs to be done. You help others. You smile when people expect you to smile. You say, "I'm okay," because it feels easier than explaining what is really happening inside you. But deep down, you know, there is a kind of tiredness that does not show on your face. A tiredness that sleep alone cannot fix. A tiredness from holding everything together, from staying quiet, from not wanting to worry anyone, from being the support for everyone else, even when you also needed support. And if you feel that weight today, breathe. You are not alone. Some people spend their lives being seen as strong, the ones who solve things, the ones who listen, the ones who understand, the ones who keep going, the ones who seem to always know what to do, but almost no one asks how they feel when the day is over. Almost no one notices when they become quiet. Almost no one sees when their smile gets tired. Almost no one understands how much it costs to keep being strong when everything inside you is asking for rest. Maybe you got used to not asking for help. Maybe you learned early that you had to handle things on your own. Maybe, at some point in life, you understood that showing pain was not safe. So you learned to hide it. You learned to hold back your tears. You learned to say, "I'm fine," even when you were not. You learned to take care of others before taking care of yourself. You learned to look whole, even when you were breaking in silence. But listen carefully. Being strong does not mean never falling apart. Being strong does not mean never crying. Being strong does not mean carrying everything alone. Being strong does not mean ignoring your own pain. Sometimes, being strong means admitting that you are tired. It means recognizing that you have reached your limit. It means stopping before you destroy yourself. It means saying, I cannot do everything right now. I need care too. I need time too. I need rest too." That is not weakness. That is being human, because you are human. Even if people expect a lot from you, even if they are used to seeing you steady, even if they always count on you, you still feel, you still get hurt, you still get disappointed, you still get exhausted, you still need tenderness. And maybe one of the deepest pains of being seen as strong is this. People forget that you also need to be cared for. They get used to your patience, your presence, your ability to handle things, your habit of saying, "I'll take care of it." And without realizing it, they begin to believe you can handle everything. But no one can handle everything forever, not even you. And that is okay. You do not have to carry every weight. You do not have to save everyone. You do not have to be available all the time. You do not have to hold pain that does not belong to you. You do not have to prove your strength by hurting yourself. There is a difference between being strong and abandoning yourself. And maybe, for a long time, you confused the two. Maybe you thought resting was irresponsibility, that saying no was selfish, that asking for help was bothering someone, that stopping meant failing. But it does not. Rest is also responsibility. Saying no is also self-care. Asking for help is also courage. Stopping can also be a way of saving yourself. You were not made to live at your limit every day. You were not made to smile while falling apart inside. You were not made to carry the whole world on your shoulders. You need pauses. You need silence. You need time. You need spaces where you do not have to explain everything. You need people with whom you can simply be yourself. No mask, no performance, no obligation to look okay. Because it gets tiring. Being the strong one gets tiring. Being the person everyone depends on gets tiring. Being the one who understands everyone but is rarely understood gets tiring. Being the one who keeps going even without energy gets tiring. And maybe today, you are exactly there. Continuing out of habit. Smiling out of politeness. Getting up because there seems to be no other choice. But inside, something in you is asking, "Please, take care of me too." And maybe it is time to listen to that request. Not when everything falls apart. Not when your body screams. Not when your mind cannot take it anymore. Now, today, in this moment, start small. Take a deep breath. Admit to yourself that you are tired. Stop pretending for a few minutes. Write down what you feel. Step away from what is making you heavier. Rest without apologizing for it. Leave some things for later. Choose not to solve everything today. Allow yourself to exist without being useful to someone for a while. That is care. And care is not a luxury. Care is a need. Maybe you think, and if I stop, everything will fall apart. Maybe it feels like too many things depend on you. But think gently. What falls apart when you rest may have already been too heavy for one person to carry alone. You do not have to sustain relationships where only you make an effort. You do not have to keep everything working at the cost of your peace. You do not have to disappear inside other people's needs. Your life matters too. Your tiredness matters too. Your pain matters too. Your silence deserves to be heard. Maybe it is time to give yourself a little of the compassion you always give to others. You forgive others when they cannot do something, but you blame yourself when you cannot. You comfort others when they cry, but you criticize yourself when you do. You understand other people's limits, but you ignore your own. Why should your pain matter less? Why should your exhaustion be ignored? Why should you be kind to everyone except yourself? Today, try to speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. With calm, with patience, with respect. Say, I know you are tired. I know you tried. I know you carried things no one saw. But now you deserve care too. Because you do. Even if there are still problems to solve. Even if not everything is in place. Even if you do not know exactly what to do. You deserve care now. Not only when you are okay. Not only when you succeed. Not only when you look strong again. Now. In the middle of the tiredness, in the middle of the confusion, in the middle of this difficult season, you deserve care. One of the greatest forms of strength is learning not to abandon yourself, especially when you are tired, especially when no one notices, especially when it feels easier to keep pretending. Because pretending for too long comes with a cost. The body feels it, the mind feels it, the heart feels it, and eventually, what you have been holding inside begins to ask for space. It may show up as sadness, as anxiety, as irritability, as numbness, as constant exhaustion, as the desire to isolate yourself. And it is not weakness. It is an inner request for rest, a request for attention, a sign that you need to look at yourself with honesty and care. Maybe you need to ask yourself, what am I carrying that is not mine? Where am I saying yes when I want to say no? What do I need to release, even just a little? These questions may not bring perfect answers, but they can open paths. Because relief often begins when you realize you do not have to keep living the same way. You can change your boundaries. You can change your routine. You can change how much energy you give to people who do not care for you. You can change the way you speak to yourself. You can slowly change the place you occupy in your own life. You do not have to keep being strong the same way you have always been. Maybe your strength needs a new form now. Less silence, more truth, less self-pressure, more care, less availability for everything, more presence for yourself, less I can handle it, more I need support too. That does not make you weaker. It makes you more whole. Because strength without care becomes exhaustion. Strength without rest becomes weight. Strength without boundaries becomes a prison. Strength without truth becomes a mask. And you do not have to live behind a mask. You can be strong and sensitive, strong and tired, strong and confused, strong and in need of help, strong and crying, strong and rebuilding. One thing does not cancel the other. You do not stop being strong because you admit it hurts. You do not stop being strong because you need to pause. You do not stop being strong because you say, today, I cannot. Maybe that is the moment when you finally begin to respect yourself. Because respecting yourself means knowing the difference between trying and hurting yourself, between helping and forgetting yourself, between loving and disappearing, between being responsible and carrying what was never yours to carry. You can be kind without being available all the time. You can love someone without solving everything for them. You can care without destroying yourself. You can help without abandoning yourself. You can be strong without living at your limit. So maybe this is what you need to hear today. You have permission to rest, permission to not answer right now, permission to not explain everything, permission to be quiet, permission to say no, permission to change your mind, permission to take care of yourself first, permission to not handle everything, permission to be human. You do not need to wait for someone else to give you that permission. It can come from you. Today, maybe your next step is not doing more. Maybe it is doing less. Less pressure, less guilt, less comparison, less trying to please everyone, less effort to look okay, and more listening, more honesty, more gentleness, more attention to what you feel. There's a version of you waiting to breathe more freely. A version that does not live only in survival mode. A version that does not carry everything alone. A version that can say no without hating itself for it. A version that understands peace is also a priority. That version does not appear all at once. It is born slowly. Every time you respect a limit. Every time you step away from overload. Every time you stop punishing yourself. Every time you understand that you do not have to be invincible to be valuable. You do not have to be invincible. You need space to breathe, space to feel, space to exist without demanding so much from yourself. Because life does not have to be only resistance. It can also be rest. It can also be lightness. It can also be care. It can also be rebuilding. Maybe today you cannot change everything, but you can begin with one small choice. A pause, a boundary, a conversation, a rest, a decision to stop mistreating yourself for being tired. And that already matters. Small choices, repeated over time, begin to change the way you live. They teach your body that it does not have to be on alert all the time. They teach your mind that it does not have to solve everything at once. They teach your heart that love should not require self-abandonment. You can learn a new way to be strong, a calmer way, a more honest way, a gentler way, a way where you do not need to disappear to keep everything standing. A way where you also fit inside your own life. So if today you are tired of being strong, breathe. Do not blame yourself for it. Do not be ashamed. Do not turn your exhaustion into another reason to criticize yourself. Listen to what it is trying to tell you. Maybe it is saying, I need rest. I need care. I need boundaries. I need truth. I need to come back to myself. And you can come back. Slowly, little by little. Even if you do not know exactly where to begin, begin by not abandoning yourself today. Begin by recognizing, I did what I could. I tried. I carried a lot. But now, I need to breathe too. That is a beginning. An honest beginning. A possible beginning. A human beginning. And remember, you do not need to prove your strength to deserve love. You do not need to suffer in silence to be admired. You do not need to handle everything to have value. You do not need to be everyone's safe place while drowning inside. You deserve solid ground too. You deserve rest too. You deserve to be heard too. You deserve days when you do not have to explain your pain. And if no one has told you this today, let these words reach you now. You have been doing a lot. Maybe more than you realize. Maybe more than others recognize. Maybe more than you should have carried alone. So go gently. Lower your shoulders a little. Let your breath out. Allow yourself to not be okay for a moment. You do not have to run from what you feel. You only need not to treat yourself cruelly while you feel it. Hold yourself with patience, with care, with presence, with words that do not hurt. You can still continue, but you do not have to continue destroying yourself. You can still be strong, but you do not have to be strong in the same way. You can still care for others, but you do not have to forget yourself. You can still move forward, but you can move forward with more gentleness, more boundaries, more truth, more respect for who you are. Life becomes too heavy when you try to carry everything alone. And maybe the path to lighter days begins when you understand that you do not have to. You do not have to carry everything. You do not have to solve everything. You do not have to endure everything. You do not have to be everything for everyone. You can simply be human, and that is already enough. So today, if all you can do is breathe and continue a little, do that. Breathe. Continue a little. Rest when you need to. Ask for help when you can. Say no when it is necessary. And come back to yourself whenever you realize you are getting lost trying to handle everything. Your strength is not only in enduring, it is also in caring for yourself. It is also in recognizing your limits. It is also in choosing peace when the world demands too much. It is also in not abandoning yourself. And little by little, you may realize you did not need to be a rock. You needed to be a person who feels, who gets tired, who cries, who begins again, who learns, who deserves care, and even tired, you can still rebuild a lighter life, one day at a time, one boundary at a time, one pause at a time, one breath at a time. If this message touched your heart, take a deep breath for a few seconds. Maybe you came this far because you needed to remember that you do not have to be strong all the time. And if these words brought you a little calm, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who is also tired of carrying everything alone. Sometimes, a simple message can arrive exactly when someone needs it most. And remember, rest is also courage. Saying no is also care. Asking for help is also strength. You do not have to handle everything alone. Breathe, come back to yourself, and keep going gently, because even tired, you still deserve to continue with more lightness. If this message touched your heart, take a deep breath for a few seconds. And remember, you do not have to carry everything alone. Sometimes, being strong also means asking for help. If what you are feeling has become too heavy, if your sadness does not go away, or if you feel like you cannot handle this by yourself, please consider talking to a mental health professional. Seeking help is not weakness. It is care. It is courage. It is a way of choosing yourself. And if these words brought you a little comfort today, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who may also need to hear this. You never know who is silently waiting for a reminder that they are not alone. Breathe. Take one small step. Ask for support when you need it. And keep going gently. Because even tired, you still deserve a lighter life.